Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today. Okay, how are we going? Let me just make sure everything is looking good on this side here. Okay, so I can see everything happening, and that means that I can then come along and go like that. Whoa. And say, I do wish this would focus. Okay, let's come back 1 second so that I can make that focus a little bit. Okay, let's try again. Okay, good afternoon. That seems a little bit better. How are we going today? As always, I am Julie Hall. Thank you so much for joining me. It is a beautiful day here in Canberra, and I have been full on this morning and this afternoon. We hired a skip for the weekend, so it has been chucking out weekend. And if you're anything like me, I have hoarder genes from that come both my husband and I have hoarder genes that come to us very, very naturally from both sides of the family. So every year or so we try and get a skip and fill it up just to stop those tendencies from totally getting away from us. And I can see we've got Kathy Oderkirken with us today. Thank you so much for joining us, Kathy. So it is, we've had a big weekend of cleaning up, and because of that, I found one or two things that I'm going to share with you as well. But let's get on to stitching, because today I would like to show you these two projects are so quick. And that's what I love. You know, there's just times when you want something nice and quick and achievable. You just want that quick win. And that's what these things are. So we're going to do the coin purse, and I went looking for my sample of my coin purse, and it's somewhere in the ether. I'm not exactly sure. It's probably part of the cleanup, to be perfectly honest. But then I've got the luggage tag has been so popular that I thought I would show you that again. So let's come through over the machine and let me show you what I've got. But how about everybody else? How's everybody else's weekend going? Okay. So, one of the joys of this is that it is a very simple 5x7 hoop project. Now, what I've got is 2 pieces of vinyl, and these are my scraps. You need a piece that is about 10 centimetres by 18 centimetres, and I just didn't want to cut this one anymore. So I'm going to use this for my inside and this for my outside. And step 1 is we're going to stitch our outline. Now, one of the things that I like about this coin purse is it's kind of perfect for guys. It's difficult to find things that that you can make for guys, but to me, this really is one of them. Now, this is where we go a little bit off-brand to what we do for a lot of our in the hoop stuff, because what I'm going to do is put this down face up. So, pretty side down, face up. my lovely bestie there with you. Okay, so we've tacked down, and we'll trim all this away so you're not going to ever see those stitches. But then we are going to stitch colorway 3, which gives us the pouch that we're going to put our coins in. Now, if you wanted to have this as something that you could hook on to your bag or anything, this is where you would be placing that tab. I haven't made a tab, and I don't particularly want a tab on this. I like the idea that it's just something that I can pop into the into my bag. So then I'm going to lay my top fabric with right sides up. And when I say fabric, it has to be, I thought this would be a nice one for the young lady, Lisa. So when I say fabric, this does need to be a vinyl or a felt or a cork. It needs to be something that is not going to fray. Oopsie-days. Sorry guys, that's on me. That was me just bumping that along. And that's actually all the stitching that we've got in here. So let me take the hoop off and come over. And let's have a look at what we are left with. Now we'll pop some of those aside for the moment. And so the first thing that we do is just take all that extra stabilizer off. Poking your tongue out helps. Worst case scenario, an awl doesn't exactly hurt either. Now, one of the things that I've learnt from doing a lot of these is to always trim from the right side. So what I mean by that, I've just got rid of with my piece that I'm going to need in a minute. So what I mean by that is this is the right side of our fabric. So as we trim, we're going to trim from the right side. And what that means is that if they're, particularly with thick fabrics, if there's any issues with the fabric moving between the layers, you're not going to see that on the front side. And you want to come about 2 millimeters. And what I'm looking for is I want to be far enough away that the stitches aren't going to pull out, but still close enough that you can see that those stitches are forming my edges. Now, I got blue cam snaps out for this and then realised I've done a purple back. So I am going to come through and alter that in a minute as well. And this one reminded me, my father sort of only ever had change in his pocket sort of a thing, but my father-in-law always had like a little leather pouch, sort of like this really, that had coins, and it went in the car so that if they went through, remember when the tunnels, you could only ever have, you had to have the right coins. So now what I'm going to do, and I will come through and remove all of that later, of course, but what I'm going to do is come through and pierce through just the one layer. And then I'm going to cut. So it's been a wonderful week in the Hall household. Em's got a role volunteering at Vinnie's, which is going to look fantastic on her CV. Gracie's doing well at her job. Like it's, I'm just, I don't know, I think it's something in the air, but look, brutal honesty, the last year has been bloody awful for me. I realise now that I've been depressed, but I feel a real sense of optimism in the air at the moment. Okay, so this is our pouch, and I'm just looking at what colour I'm going to have better than the blue. Do we go the purple? Now, I don't have the one, isn't it weird? The one thing that I haven't bought the tool for on the big pretty new machine, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So this is my pretty new press, and I'm going to show you how it works. And I know what I did wrong the other day. The eyelet was not large enough for what I was using. I had to use a bigger eyelet. Okay, so all we do when you are looking to put that press in is find the center. And then you mark it on the other side as well. Now, it really doesn't matter which side you do which on this. So, but they must of course match up. Pop one on there. And then one on there. And my coin purse is completed. So your coins go in, they sit at the bottom here, and of course once it's closed over, it's absolutely fine and cannot be gotten to. But I think that is just a really cute little one. Now, for those of you who may not have seen it the other day, and I was so happy and excited at how everybody seems to have loved the luggage tag. So let's come through, and I'm going to do it in the same fabric so they match. So again, this is the luggage tag that we're going to make. These are the ones that I made the other day, and I've got the rainbow fabric to make that with. So let's come over to the computer screen first. Now, okay, Marissa Adamson, thank you for joining us. What have you been up to this week, Marissa? I keep on hoping somebody will share something terribly exciting and lovely and fun and inspire me as much as anything else. Okay, so I just need that second set of hands to do things like when I'm talking to you guys and showing you how I've put something together, just to be sitting there and prepping for the next one. Okay. So we have, oh, now that was what I wanted to show you. Look at what I found in the cleanup. They are the hot pink squizzes. I was so sure I had them there somewhere. And I do. So they are now up on the website and can be purchased. I have no idea how long I have had them there for. Okay, so let's get started. Okay. Murphy's Law says this did not pick up. Yes, it did. Okay. In that case, Murphy's Law says I got no idea. Okay, that's looking better. So, 2 pieces of vinyl, 1 of clear plastic. And we're going to start with our clear plastic. Oh, a new dining table. See, I'm about to throw out, in about half an hour, I am about to throw out one of our oh God, what do you call them? One of our lounge chairs. Just because we've got the skip, and I probably got about 1 metre more than I needed to skip size wise. Okay, so we trim that away because we don't want all of the excess hanging around. Now, we're doing the outline to show us exactly where we are going to place our first piece of fabric. Okay. And just make sure you cover that up, both sides. Now, brutal honesty, I could have gone through and cleaned that a little bit better. And our next colorway is actually going to show us exactly where we are going to cut away the excess on our luggage tag then for our final colour, oh no, we got one more bit. I lie. Can't take me anywhere. So, last step is to come through, and I'm just going to get rid of a little bit of thread there. And I'm just going to tape into place and stitch out the last colorway. See, one of the problems I've got with furniture there, Lisa, is I like old stuff. The newest thing that I like in my house, aside from the sewing machines, would have to be my husband. And he ain't that young. Oh, I'm liking this. And I'm thinking that young Grace might like this as well. Okay, so again, that is our stitching done. Let's come through and have a look at what we do for this one on the workbench. But the problem with old stuff is it's getting harder to find. Like, you know, when we were first married 20 odd years ago, everyone was getting rid of their parents' Art Deco stuff, which is the style that I personally love. But now everyone's getting rid of their parents' mid-century modern stuff, all that 50s, 60s, 70s stuff. Okay, so getting rid of all of that, trimming that last bit off the back, and then we're doing our basic trim around. Yeah, size of tables, and it's so dependent on the house. Like, you know, we don't have a massive house by any stretch of the imagination. My house is 1 year older than my husband, so it's a 1968 model. And, you know, that's fine. We like it, all the good shit. It's in a nice place. It's quiet. But, yeah, it is not, you know, the Taj Mahal houses that you see out there these days. Okay, so what I'm now going to do is come through and take a scalpel blade. And what you need to do is just be careful that you are only cutting through the first layer. And there is a little bit of practice involved in that. But once you get that first layer cut through, and this is where you're going to slide your card. And actually, isn't it funny? There really are different scissors for different jobs. So we're sliding through and we're going through the top of that plastic as well. And there we've got the room that we're going to use to put our card in. Now, you'll probably have to pull out some stabilizer there. Now, you're going to do basically the same thing down here. And you always cut on the inside. And what I find is if I cut the straights, I can then come in and just slice it through to the edge there, and then curve it around until we meet the next part. Ta-da! Now, what I didn't do was take that stabilizer out of there. So now I've got to do the unfortunate task of taking the stabilizer. But as you guys know, I'm always happy to share when I stuff something up. And I'll get in there later with my little squeezies and get rid of the rest of that. Okay, so the only other thing that we need to do now is to come through and put the eyelet in it. Now, what I discovered that I had stuffed up previously when I did the eyelet on Thursday evening was I had not used a large enough eyelet. It was too thin, so it just wasn't going through. But loving this cute little machine. Oh my goodness, a bat in the house adds new meaning to bat crap crazy. So what we've got is, first of all, a little hole punch. And then, and generally if you do this yourself, you would have all of your holes to punch first, and then you'd put all of your eyelets on. So then we've got our little eyelet maker, or little eyelet, who's it? Yeah, I don't do mice and I don't do bats. That seems awfully like an Edward type of a job. So these are my eyelets that are a little bit larger, and I'm going to go with a gold one today. So we put the eyelet, and then we put it down on there. We get a little gold cover. And we go. Eyelet done. So that is, and if you want to make it slightly prettier, you can do it from the other side as well. But they are our two projects. Now, a lot of people have been asking when I'm going to start the alphabet. I am going to start that awfully soon. I have all of my letters here sooner or later. So this is going to be a new key fob alphabet as a freebie collection. So I've got the letter A to G, G, H to N, O to T, and the end of the alphabet here. And all using up my little scribbly bits. Okay. And Kathy Chillingsworth. Thank you for joining us, Kathy. Okay, so where are we? Okay, now I told you that was going to be a quick one, isn't it? I just love how quick and easy that one is. So that's my little finished design. I don't know why I'm holding this up. I'm obviously not that bright. So this is our little finished design. Loving how it's turned out. I do have, what else have I worked on this week? I am trying to think. I did get the glasses case up on the website, and Ed's loved this one so much. Obviously not this pretty girly one, but the denim version he's actually taking to work because it means he can carry around his glasses and know where they are. So that's what I have been up to. As always, thank you so much for joining us. I do appreciate it. Next week we're going to look at some more in the vinyls, so keep on grabbing out those scraps. Until next time, guys, have a stitching day. Bye.